The president is asking Congress for an additional $33 billion for aid for Ukraine with the conflict with Russia as it continues. Heather Boushey is one of President Biden's economic advisors and joins me now from the White House. Thank you for joining. We'll do Ukraine in just 1 second. I just want to focus on the GDP number. Yes, it was a surprise, and yes, there are specific factors, but at a time of slowdown and rising rates, it must give cause for concern that things are not as rosy as perhaps we thought.
Well, certainly, we never want to see a negative GDP number, but when you look under the hood, there is a lot of strength in this economy, and that is indicated in this report. Now, I really do want to stress, we never at the Council of Economic Advisors make a big deal out of any one data point. We always look at the full context, and what we see here is that there was very strong consumer spending, 2.7%, and very strong business investment, over 9%, along with strong residential investment. What we know from economic research and actually from earlier Council of Economic Advisors is that when those indicators go up, that is an indicator of strength and growth in the months and quarters to come. So that makes us hopeful that this is consistent with other indicators that we've been seeing. Of course, the ongoing strength in the U.S. labor market. You know, we've recently just learned that 17 U.S. states are either tied or at their historically low unemployment rate. So I think all of this really just does say that there is a lot of underlying strength in this economy, even with this negative number.
The number of private economists who are now forecasting a recession next year is growing. Some even saying it'll be a major recession. The president today said that he sees no sign of a recession. Is this one of these things where everyone says no recession until it arrives? Private economists say they are now seeing a recession next year.
Well, certainly. We spend a lot of time here, his economic team, thinking about this very question. We're always on the watch for indicators, but there are continued signs of robustness, again, pointing to the labor market, pointing to consumer spending, strong household balance sheets, and I am really heartened by the strong business investment. That's on top of a new report released by the White House today that documents how last year was the largest year for an increase in small businesses in the United States, a 20% increase over last year. All of that points to a lot of economic activity and underlying strength in the U.S. economy. Now, of course, we all have our crystal balls and we are constantly watching for signs of weakness, but there's also a lot of indicators that there is this underlying health.
If we move, ma'am, if we may, to the $33 billion for Ukraine, this is a very large sum of money. And there have been the various tranches of 800 million for military aid and another 800 million. But when you get to sums like 33 billion, you are essentially talking about a financing of a very long-term commitment to Ukraine.
That is certainly the case. This war has gone on longer than I think many expected at the very beginning, and certainly there are consequences for the United States and other countries all around the world. And the president has called on Congress for us to step up and do our part, both with aid in terms of defense and military spending, but also humanitarian aid. I think one of the things about this crisis in Ukraine is that while it is, because of this unprovoked war that Putin is waging, it has all of these economic effects for us. So making this investment to help, shore them up, to make sure that they can get through this crisis is also investment in all of our futures.
I was thinking this morning over coffee about when I saw the GDP number, the extraordinarily difficult economic currents at the moment, and I started to sort of tap them off. You've got obviously the hangover from COVID, which is still there. You've got China in lockdown. You had the pre-existing inflation from from monetary policy. You've now got the war in Ukraine. You've got supply side issues in terms of oil and gas. This is phenomenally complex, arguably more complex than anything we've seen in the last 50, 60 years.
100%, Richard. I mean, I think what's really incredible about the place we're in now is the resilience that the U.S. economy has shown in light of all of these challenges. That we have made it through this pandemic, we've made it through other variants, we are making it through this Ukraine crisis and what that means in terms of gas prices and food prices, and of course the ongoing supply side shocks and the lockdown in China, which is, again, affecting, the ability of goods to get to shelves for the U.S. consumer. But I think that does speak to the resilience, and that is because of the efforts that this administration and Congress have taken to make sure that we're making those investments all across our economy to shore it up, make sure that people and businesses have the tools that they need to get through this crisis. But, this is a very challenging time to be an economic forecaster or to be watching the U.S. economy.